I don't, I wonder what you think about whether there's an obvious religious depth to any of the cultural products of today. I say that because, like, you know, belief in the supernatural is very much declining in Western countries. Like, just statistically, that's kind of a thing that's happening. So traditional symbol sets, they're not lost, but people are using them less readily, it seems, and
Yeah.
leaning into those less readily. And I mean, Tillich would want to say, well, there's still theological depths because, the ground of being pervades everything. Like
Yeah.
it's always appearing. But I wonder if it's not a little bit more difficult to explicitly kind of, note that or see it very obviously displayed. I don't know. I mean, do you think there's a religious depth to like memes or
Yeah.
podcasts or these sorts of things?
Yeah, I do also think that there's that it's getting less and less obvious. Definitely. Because I'm right now thinking about the Barbie movie. I don't know, have you seen it? Yeah.
I was thinking about that today, actually.
Yeah, and for me myself, I found so many theological questions and so many questions that I would personally say is as something that Tillich says as in German it would be das Unbedingte. That is, yeah, the subject that absolutely concerns us. Exactly. So a lot of questions of that I found in the Barbie movie, and also like the song that Billie Eilish did, that what was I made for? It's
Hmm.
so existential, the questions that are in this song, that I thought like, wow, okay, that's a product of pop culture, and I can find so many religious or theological questions, but I think it's only obvious to someone who wants to see it. Because right now I couldn't say that something is being made for especially pop culture that is explicitly religious or explicitly theological, but I don't think it needs to be also, because I think the people who want to put that topic in there, they do, and they find a sort of meaning in that. And I think that's also the whole point of like culture and religion's whole connection, because culture is so n not religious in our eyes, but
Hmm.
you can still see so many religious parts if you want to, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah, this is why I love Tillich, but also why I think a lot of scholars critique how Tillich views religion. Because for Tillich, like, there's no way to just not be religious, and it's a little
Yeah.
bit of a cheat, because he says, well, yeah, religion is what concerns us ultimately, and the ontological question is, why is there something rather than nothing? Why do I exist? So he makes it as broad as possible in some ways. I
Yeah.
think he's right, but a lot of scholars are like, okay, you're cheating now because
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
no way you can't be religious because religion is just about what gives you meaning and purpose and concerns you at the highest part of your being.
Yeah. Yeah, and it also I feel like Tillich does a kind of cheat code. I mean, I think it's so smart, because he just like he takes God or he takes religion and says, "Oh, but that what I mean with religion is it's something entirely broader." And he just speaks to so much more people with
Hmm.
not defining this ultimate concern. Why not?
Yeah.
I think definitely in a plurality like today, you can't you can't just define something and make it so not free for people to think their own interpretations of that thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
I love it. The interesting thing too is the fact that Tillich often doesn't fill in the content of exactly what that ultimate concern ought to be
exactly.
or
Yeah.
should be, which is again back to his existential tendencies, that there's always a little bit of room for doubt.
To come back to culture and to kind of wrap this up, I think this broadened concept of religion is what makes it so easy for even like for especially for young people, like talking about people in school, for example, they could grasp religion so much more easily if they like would say, okay, religion is in culture and religion is could be experienced everywhere. Like you could experience religion when listening to the Barbie song or something
Mhm.
like that, you know? And it's so much more um near to, I think, the way that young people are thinking today. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can have a deeply religious experience by looking at memes online. I mean, the memification of reality has some risks in terms of how reductive it is and how it simplifies complex things, but at the same time, it's got a lot of potential, to make universal certain things that might have problems finding traction in this globalized world.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also a sort of creation of culture that helps us deal. You know, humor is such a good outlet,
Hmm.
and it's such a good way of reflecting a lot of things that go on in
Yeah.
this world. Like seeing that we have so many associations even just proves the point even more.